Dave here. How are you? Today is the 22nd of October 2023. It's actually the 20th. I'm doing a pre-recording because tomorrow I have a market that I've got to do, tomorrow being Saturday, children, 21st, not the 22nd. Now, I won't be getting back until around about 1 a.m. on a long drive of 500 kilometers odd. So I need to be fully functional while I'm using machines. I do not want to use machines in this workshop while I'm tired. Now, I will join in the chat session. I'm not embedding chat. I'm just letting you know I will join in the chat session so I can talk to you while I'm doing the demonstrations. It's probably going to be a whole lot easier to follow. Now, where did we get up to? Let's have a quick look down here at this one. Now, this is the door frame that we were cutting out last week. Now, I have got it to a stage where it's all dominoed together, and there's the area for the two raised panels or whatever we're going to do down here. And this area here is for the screen. Now, I've got to cut the horns off. That's what these guys here are. I've already done the other end. You can see that's all nice and clean there without damaging myself, of course. So I'll do that with a track saw. We'll jump up to Carl Cam here. And let's see if I've got Carl Cam working. Yes, I have. All right, so I will turn on the dust extractor. Let me have a look here. Bring this over. And I've put the cross-cut blade, fine-cut blade in there. I'm looking for my rail with that on it. That's not going to be long enough. I want a longer track than that. I could put the GRE 13 on, or I could just simply go to a 1400 track. The good thing about this guy here, this is the version 2. Notice I've got things on here. Doesn't matter. I can go straight in under with that pushed up and lock on. I don't have to slide in from the end. So there we go. That's it. I'm going to just cut it. Now you'll notice there's a little bit there. This will, well, you can't see it because I haven't got the camera on it. I'll spin the other camera around. And you'll think, oh, well, it's not much has changed. Even though he's doing a pre-recording, he can't get it right. We'll see. I'll switch over to the other camera. There we go. There is a little bit of a gap here and not down there. I'm going to do this cut relying on the GRS16PE to give me a square cut. Then I'm going to measure the diagonals. If I have to move it at all to compensate, well, so be it. That'll be fine. I don't want to tread on the dog while I'm here. Plug this in. Fine cut. Activate the Bluetooth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's turning. That's working. Excellent. All right, make sure I don't cut through the bench. And I might just go through a little bit further away from my dog lock, or just take the dog lock off, which I can. Here we go. Now, what's that look like? It's not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. Beautiful. Look at this as it's coming off. Amazing. I don't know why it's amazing, but I just said it. And why not? It's my show. I can say it. All right. Now, if you cast your eyes over here, actually, I'll go to the other camera because I'm quite proud of this. I've nearly finished building it. Absolutely nearly finished. This is a project we started on a while ago. If we go to that one, I'll open it up and you can see what we've got inside. So that's the top drawer, and up the top here I have, well, I'll bring it over so you can see it. I have some sliding drawers that I made as well up the top. Now in here I've got an insert that I made, again from the Silky Oak drawers, which allows me to move these along a little bit to be able to get my fingers down either end to take out these drawers. And also underneath, rubber mounted. These ones come out and made with Coles jig. I go to the wider camera. I change around what I'm going to do an awful lot, don't I? So we have the cedar as the floor. That's the cedar from this material here. That has a few things. It's got a couple of screwdrivers, a Stanley knife and a tape and some scissors. The other one here has got measuring stuff. And have a look at the grain. Isn't that beautiful? That's camphor laurel, Silky Oak and Western Red Cedar. And notice again, I've got these little feet here, so I can put it down. It's not going to worry anything. And then down in here, we'll go to Calcan. It's going to be a whole lot easier. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. There you go. You can see I've got a block plane, what would you call it? A prick punch. I use it as a brad awl. A few things in here, chisels, file, you know, little things, bevel. And as I said, these go in here, like so. Slide it to wherever I want. And this one I can put in. And remember, I've got finger grips now I can pull it out with. I was playing around with the idea of drilling a hole in the bottom of each of these sliding drawers so I could put my finger down inside to pull it up. But I thought, you know what, there might be something sharp down there waiting for me. So I decided against it. Let's see if I can go to a close-up here. Getting a little bit closer. Why not? There we go. So that's what we have there. Get it in a position so you can see what I'm talking about. Up there a little bit further. That comes out. Gear in underneath. And then I move that along to there and that to there. And this little guy here is my spacer that stops these moving around. So how cool is that? Do you like that? Give me some thumbs up, for crying out loud. Subscribe to the channel and some thumbs up. This was a beautiful project to make. I'm so happy with the result. It's just lovely. Anyway, I'm going to put this back. The reason I got it out is because I want my tape measure. I'm going to be using this toolbox on the show a fair bit, I think. We'll see what happens. But that's nice. I love it. Put it back. Or I can put it up on top. That's where it lives. Beautiful. It stays up there. All right. Diagonals. I've got to measure the diagonals. Let's see how we went. Now, first of all, I need the height. I wanted 2040, and that's 2038. I'm not concerned, just as long as it's the same on the other side. 2038. Absolutely perfect. So I can't see why the diagonals are going to be any different. So I have 2198 and a half. I'm getting a bit accurate. I'm leaving myself open here. 98. I'm half a millimeter out on the diagonals. That's beautiful. That is, I'm very, very happy with that. Now, what I've got to do is I've got to create the dado for the splines to go into. Now, this stuff here is a rubber or plastic spline material. I've got a couple of different sizes here. This one is a solid core, so it's, you know, a little bit, you have to squish it a little bit. This one is a hollow core spline. Now, I'm probably going to end up using this one. Do you know why? I have enough. I don't think I've got enough of that one. And I really don't want to go and buy some more. if I can get past it. So this I purchased for the fly screens for the window that we built for the studio up in the loft there. And didn't they come up well? I'm very happy with how things are turning out. Every now and then I'll do something and it'll just go to mud. And I'll think, why do I bother? Anyway, so this is approximately 6 millimeters diameter. By the time I push a fly screen into the 6.35 millimeter dado I'm going to create, and that, it should pull it in nice and tight. And then we're going to cover it with these rippings. Remember off the edge of off the back of all of this frame material, I managed to get that wide board. Well, this is around 28 millimeters wide by maybe 5.5 thick. So these are going to go on top of the spline to hide it, and that'll finish flush there. Or if I want to, I can step it back maybe 3 mil or something like that, just to give it a bit of, I don't know, depth, texture, character, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now, how am I going to create this dado? I could do it dead easy on the CNC, except for if you have a look out there, you'll see my CNC has just become the dumping ground. And I know, are you the same when you go to put something down and you say to yourself, why am I doing this? I know it's going to keep on being moved around and around and around the workshop. I'll move it today, I'll move it tomorrow, I'll move it the next day. Why don't you just get it done and bugger it off, or put it where it lives? Well, that's another project. That's a whole lot of cypress pine that I've got seasoning. It's old cypress from the old handrails I pulled off the deck up the top. We will be building something with that further down the track, so I don't want to put it back out in the weather yet, or ever. Now I need to measure the width of this. I said it was 28, and tell a light's 31 millimeters. That's fine. Let's go 30, so I'll do the center of the dado at 15 millimeters. Pencil. Oh look, there might be a couple of pencils in this beautiful box. I can't talk highly enough of Cole's work and his jig, the Gifkins dovetail jig. I did all of the dovetails with the H10. I'll show you nice and close. We're not really getting into it, are we? Pull the little stopper out. I can take that out. Have a look how cute these little dovetails are. And they're as neat as neat can be. I love it. It's such a great jig. Anyway, there you go, Cole. I love your jigs. 15 millimeters to the center. So I will measure across here, 15, and I can be a little bit hard as I put the pencil in because it's going to be cut out. 15 here, and 15 across the top, 15 across here. And look, why not? While I'm doing it, I'll do it all the way around. Move that out of the way. And around here. And I've got an interesting thing to show you as well. I've always got something interesting. Another application for my Stanton dog locks. They are very economical. The reason, they might be a little pricey to buy at the beginning, but they double up as a stop as well as a lock. Did you know that? Probably not. Well, the smart ones amongst you probably would have thought about it. Okay, what have we got here? Take that fellow off, put it back over there. Now I'm going to use my DeWalt trim router, and I'm going to use this guide rail, this Festool guide rail, and I'm going to use my Stanton dog locks as the stops for either end. Before I do that, I've got to get a pencil and mark the outside with a square. How convenient is that? I'm so happy about it. You've got to make one. Like if you started following along in the show, or if you haven't started following on making one of those, I'm going to create a playlist that has every show that we did all the steps on that. The only thing that it hasn't got is these little boxes at the top here. But the rest of it, the main box, is all there. I'm going to transfer this mark across to the outside. I'm not going to go too heavy because I've got to sand those off. All right, all right, all right, all right. And this way. And this one here. So I would just do, today on the show, I'm just going to do the spline down here and across the end. I don't need to do the rest because I want to get started on the raised panels as well, if we get enough time. I've got no idea how the time's going. Let me see if it's got a recording, tells me how long. 15 minutes and 54 seconds. That's pretty accurate. Right, now, this is where it gets fun. I need a couple of pieces of offcut from this to support my guide rail in the middle, because I'm not going to have the guide rail sitting on here. It's going to sit on there, and it's just going to swing over empty air there. So I'm going to put a couple there like that. I'm going to put that there like that. And I'm hoping this is going to work. I hope. And I may even, I'll put a clamp at that end, I think. I don't think I need to clamp this end. One clamp will be enough. I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking for a second, if I had it elevated, it might work a bit better, but I think it'll be okay. Now, the trim router that I'm using is this one. And remember, I 3D printed this base plate, and it has little pointy things, which tells me where the center of the cutter is, which I love. So I can now put this on the guide rail and then move across so that the center is lining up. I'll bring this other camera in closer so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if any of these things work for you, I'm over the moon. The only thing I ask is if you can subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing to do it. Let's go to this camera, 3 or 4? 4. There it is. You can see it straight away. I'll get a clamp and put it at that end, so it's not going to go anywhere. Lock. No, that one didn't grab it properly. Let's go. Oh, because it was just grabbing the edge of the table. Let's move it back that way. Go in a bit tighter, I think. Cool. That's looking pretty good. Look, if it's a millimeter out, it doesn't worry me. Why? Well, because the cover strip is going to go over the top. Go down to the other end. We'll raise that up a little. And I can come to that one, which is there. Now, how can I hold that down? There's not really any way that I can. Now, I've put a little mark on the outside here. That's the only thing that's lacking on this base. I might print another one that's got that point around here as well. So I can then move it to the right position. Get my, turn it around this way and undone. There we go, and there we go. Take that one off. And now I can slide my Stanton dog lock in this end, bring this back until I'm in line with where I'm going to, which is there. Push the dog lock back against that little jig there. Tighten him up. Done. Get another one for the other end. And I'm waiting for this. I'll tip that down again. I'm waiting for this one to come up in line with this pencil line, which is pretty much there. And I'll slide this on. What I've done is I've reversed the direction of the dog lock. And now that's my stop. Down the other end, just make sure I've got nice, easy travel. until it gets to the stop. Done. Beautiful. And cull cam, I think. There we go. Stanton dog lock, Stanton dog lock. Straight away, if you were to buy two, I'm going to do a little ad here. If you were to buy two stops, Festool stops, they'll cost you probably almost the same as these. And these have the added advantage of being able to use on a 20mm regular dog hold bench, or the Stanton bench. Okay, now I know that the distance is going to be good there. I've got it on automatic. I'll put my dust hose on there, and I'm going to turn it on and slowly plunge using this. This is pretty safe. Let me come back over to the other camera there. All right, so you can watch from there. I'll turn it on and I'll slowly plunge until I get down to around 7mm. Now, I have to have a look on the side here and remember how to work the plunge on this. I'm pretty sure I know, but first thing I've got to do is release that, and then I can lower it down until it's almost touching. I've got a compression cutter in there at the moment. So I'm held with the stop, the Stanton dog lock at the back here, so I can't kick backwards. I'm going to keep my hand down here. There are no openings. Be careful with these little trimmers, that sometimes they've got little openings and your finger could slide in there and that could be a mischief. Earmuffs, and possibly even eye muffs. I've got some different color, this one. These ones have got a cracked glass on. I really do need to get in touch with eye muffs and get a replacement lens, but I've had this lens for quite a while. Okay, with the glasses. New glasses too, so you know, everything's happening here. All right, let's see how we go. Take it up just a touch. Right, going to go down. I'm watching in over the top. And I'm going to lock it there. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping I'm not too deep. No, that's looking pretty good. All right, here we go. I'm hoping we got to the right spot. Oh, blow me down. How good is that? I've got to go deeper. I started to panic a little bit then because I was thinking there's really nothing holding on to here. If it was a bigger route, I'd be more concerned that I was going to be pushing. But that looks brilliant. I'll show you down the other camera. This one. It's a great little slot. And I've got a little fellow there that I can get those out of. So I've got to go down a little bit deeper, maybe another 3 or 4 millimeters. Beautiful. The dust extraction was pretty good there. I'll take that off and get rid of that. Cool. Now let me think. I want to have a quick look at this and see how deep I'm going to go here by turning this. So I'm making sure I'm not touching any switches. So that's 1/4 of a turn, I think, will do me. Yes. 1/4 of a turn. Cool. I really do need to have something stopping that going anywhere. Now, what have I got that I can put there? I know what I can do. I've got it sorted. What I'll do is I'll put 10 kilograms on a piece of wood behind it. So I'm going to put a piece of wood there, and I'm going to put 10 kilos on that. There is no way that that's going to push just from that. There's no way that'll push away with just that router. Oh, sorry, with just the trim router pushing against it. But that looks so good. I'm very happy. This time, let's go to Carl Cam for the second run. How good is that? A little bit more noise. How's the time going? 26 minutes. Beautiful. Yeah, I apologize about not having a live show. This is a kind of a Clayton's live show. What can you do? Put it back. See, that's the stop. And the router is in there. I'm going to... no, I can't touch that because that will lift it off. Okay. Oh, relax that, of course. I don't want to start it up whilst it's in there, in the slot. That's better. Down until it's actually touching. That's touching, and then now it's not. Now, what did I say? I said I was going to go 1/4 of a turn. So I'm going to hold onto this nice and tight while I start it. That's good. We're going to go down 1/4 of a turn. And lock it. I'm going to come back ever so slowly. I've got to just come back to the beginning of the cut. That's where the stop here is working perfectly. Okay, here we go. I feel a whole lot more confident with that weight there. No dust, or no dust coming out. And up to my dog lock. There's another little dog right in the corner there. That's Pierre's bum. Just over here. Anyway, take that out. That looks beautiful. Use this one. All right, let's try the spline. Let's see if it'll fit. Perfect. As I say, when I've got the screen in there as well, that extra thickness, that'll just push in beautifully. How cool is that? And then, as I say, where is it? I'll run it up to the end so you can see. So when we put the spline in, I'll be doing it from the center to the ends. And the good thing about this, instead of that little aluminium one that I had for the window, is that this frame is going to resist doing this bowing in. So I'll be able to pull it up nice and tight, and it'll look pretty darn sexy. There it is over there. So this will go over the top, like so, and the spline will disappear underneath. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to do the end one now as well, and that'll do us for this part. That'll do us for this part with the door. And so you can buy this in different thicknesses, so I'm not concerned. If it ends up being a little bit loose, it's not going to worry me. Right, undo this one. This one should be easier to control because I can run the clamps underneath. I think. I'm bringing it out just a bit further. Can't go any further there because I've got the vacuum hose in the way. That's going to do it. Let's see what we can do. Spin this around. Switch the cameras. I saw someone the other day and said, Dave, how long are you going to grow your hair? And I said, well, you can probably see down on the top, it's getting a bit thin. So it's grow it while I can. I don't know. I'm a teenager from the 70s. So everyone had long hair. Like mine was down here somewhere. Now, I don't know if it's going to get that far this time. We'll see what happens. I'll end up getting sick of it one day during a really hot summertime. I'll probably cut it all off again and be respectable again. But in the meantime, I'm just going to be a naughty person, if you could say that. Now, getting the trim router, and we will take the thing back to 0. Oh, you idiot. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count the revolutions. I'll drop it in there until it actually touches. That's the depth that I want. Now, I'm going to count the revolutions as I bring it to get the blade, the cutter, all the way out. So, half. You're kidding me, that was 1/2 revolution. Okay. So that's why it was 1/4 before. Done. Well, that makes sense. It's just over half. I'll lock it there for the moment, because I want to use it up the end here. And checking. I'm going to bring the Dusty up a little bit closer for me, so I don't have the hoses kind of, if things are hanging off the end and getting a bit of tension, when I get to the end of the cut, which is going to be over there, I might start pulling it, and if the lead may end up pulling the top of the trim up back towards the vacuum and give me a bad result over there. Little things. It's the little things in life. Okay, so that one is going to be there. We'll move that around a bit further there. That looks good. I'll put a clamp under that one. Come out just a touch further. Now, when I'm in the middle, it's not going to be so far. There won't be much flex in it there. I'll move this camera down here so we can all join in the fun. Yeah, so the markets, it'll be Pelican foreshore markets if they go ahead. But we've got wind forecasts for 35 kilometres an hour. And you ask anyone who does markets, there's a salute in the market world. Like you've got everyone's got their 3 metre by 3 metre, that's 10 feet by 10 feet pop up. And as soon as a breeze comes, everyone goes like that. They grab a hold of the marquee so it doesn't blow off. It's an ugly thing when they do go. I've seen many of them go, and you feel sorry for the poor person who's got the market when that happens to them, like to the stall holder. That's looking good. Okay, so that's got it there. And down the other end, that's got it there. That's absolutely perfect. And I've got my line there. I'll release the Stanton dog lock, bring it down. Yeah, why buy Festool backstops? Or just get them from my Etsy site. I'll leave links in the video description at the bottom. So you can get them online, basically from Tool Theory, made, or from Stuart over in England, the UK and Europe, or from me here in Australia. Now, to let you know, in England, what they're doing over, sorry, not in England, in the States, they are using an aluminium section that goes into the track. I 3D print, I've never had an issue. But I think they just wanted to be a little bit more exclusive. So you don't get that in Australia, but you do in the States. Or you can buy the 3D print file and print your own. Why not? I'm just trying to make it easy for everyone to be able to do this kind of stuff. Bring this one back and go to that other camera over here. I'll switch to that camera down there now because I think it's going to give you a whole lot more to see. That there, and that one out to there, that's good. Well, that is a whole lot more to see. I'm going to bring that in a bit closer and up a touch. Okay, that should be about it. So there's the dog lock. Tighten her up. And also I've had people say to me, oh Dave, why haven't I got thumb screws at both ends? Well, they cost more for me to do it that way, but I normally have one end is stationary, and that's just got the slots, straight slots. You put that on, set and forget. But when in this situation, you know, if you want thumb screws, let me know if you want thumb screws at both ends, and I'll see what I can do. I'm going to charge you another couple of bucks because that's what it cost me. All right, this hose. What do you think? What do you think about this kind of stuff? I get excited when I make these little discoveries. Looking down in there, I want to say it was half a turn before we're at depth. I'm going to try doing it half turn in one run instead of a quarter of a turn. Let's see what happens. You only live once. Let's have some fun. Bit of a noise. It'll make a bit more of a screaming noise when I'm doing this. Okay, turn her on and hold it just in case it's touching. It shouldn't be, but anyway. There we go. Release the clamp and start going down. Let's try locking it there. Gotcha. Here we go. One thing I've got to do, as I always do, get my hand. I should have done it before I started. Come on. I'm doing left-handed, that's why it's mucking me around. Let's go. Oh, I haven't got full depth. That's all right. Come on. See what I mean about the hose? Take it up slowly. That's good. Stop. Now I know for this end, I'm just a little bit I've got to go down another 2 millimeters. I'm going to drag it back. I'm not adjusting it at all. Just drag it straight back. And this time, do I want it that way or this way? I try and get it so that I have good control just by having it on my arm. You know, whether it works or not, I don't know. Turn her on. She's still in the hole. Got it. Release this. Go down just a bit more. Lock it again. And away we go. Nearly there. Come back. I've got to go down just a little bit more. That's better. Wait for it to stop. Don't ever pull a router out while it's spinning. Done. So nice. Just in case it starts. No blade exposed. So that's pretty cool. I'll clean the slot out. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, how are we doing for time? 42 minutes. It's got 20 minutes left. All right. Relax this. I could have kept going just on that part, but it's, you know, it would get a bit boring for you guys. So I'm not. Gave me just enough time to tell you how wonderful these things are. Piece of wood falling down, we don't worry about that. And take the weights off. Move that out of the way. That. Those and that. Unplug it. All right. Beautiful. I'll show you what it looks like from the front camera. But you can see what it looks like there, but you know, what the... There we go. There's my dado, and that was pretty easy. And how good is it going to be when the spline goes in and it just gets totally covered by that little cover strip? If you want to make a door, they're not hard. I will possibly, what I'm going to do is, with this video, I might throw some pictures as well in of the construction stage, like when I was doing the dominoing and how I laid it all out. Might help. Just a thought. I probably will. We'll see what happens. Where are we? Where are we? Ooh, don't hit stop. Stop recording. That'd be terrible. Now, I want to make some raised panels for this end. So let's have a quick measure of how big they are. I love that box. They're going to be 560 plus 20 millimeters. I want to go in 10 millimeters at least for the rebate, or what you guys in the States would call a rabbit. So it'll be 580 by 300 millimeters. So in the old speak, that is 22 7/8 inch by 11 inches and, you know, nearly 12 inches. It's 304 millimeters, so it's 11 7/8. All right, write it down, David. I've started using my little book again that Vicky got me years and years and years and years and years ago, because she hears me talking to myself in the shed here, and apparently there was no one on the other end. She couldn't see you guys before. Well, there's no one there at the moment, so I'm just waffling away in the shed. It's lucky the loony guys don't come down and get me. Okay, so the raised panel. Let's go to Carl Cam. We'll go to close-up Carl Cam, because it might work a little bit better. So the raised panels. Will be, what did I say, 580 by 300. Now I have some wood here, some cedar. Now I've told everyone I'm going to paint this, but remember when I built the display case or shelf for my camera, and I was mucking around with inlay, and I was mucking around with this piece here. So I'm going to rip this. First of all, what I'll do is I'll thickness this down, get rid of that, because I've got it on both sides. And I will rip it down the center, like I did with this board, this cedar here. And then I'll join it together. So I need to see how wide this is. That is 120, so I'll need 3 pieces at least. What else have I got here? I've got this one. Go to a wider image. So I've got that, and this. This is a slightly wider one. So if I've got 300 out of all of those, I've got 350. That'll get me out of strife. So if I do that, 2 pieces, 2 pieces, 2 pieces, and the length that I've got here, what I want, 580. So it'll bring me down to about there. I'm not going to get 2 out of each one. So what I'm going to do is I'll dock this down to length. I'll dock them down to 500. I'll dock them down to 600, because otherwise I'm just going to waste all that other end there. I'd rather have, go away, you silly fly. So 600 millimeters. Where am I? Blue Mountains, of course. 600. I'll go from that end on that one. And on that one, I'll go from there. All right, give me a sec. I'll just go over to the docking saw and knock them off. And then we'll take it over to the bandsaw and rip them down the center. Oh, I'm starting to get into that situation. I was talking about earlier where you just put things down and you go, I'm going to regret putting it there because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to keep on moving it around and around and around the workshop. Okay, the first one. There's one. So I've got a nice sized offcut there. And the next one. And the last one. I'll joint one edge. Because I don't know if they're square or not, and I do want them to be dead square for when I put them through the bandsaw. Let's go to this one. I'm going to turn that camera around, we'll just run it through the jointer. Or over the jointer. Maybe looking around, there they are. 10 minutes left. Spin that around to there. Actually, let's take it down here. Making you all seasick again. grab these pieces. That's all right. Get a piece of chalk out. Face marking so I know where I'm at. So I'm going to, because I put the face mark there, I'm going to put it up against the edge, and that's all good. That's one. Beautiful. Two. Now, because I'm up a fair distance away from the cutter head, it's not so bad following along behind. If this was thinner, I wouldn't have my thumb hanging over the end. I'm right up at the top, and I'm very aware of what's happening because I'm not sound asleep on my way home from Pelican Point. Now that I've done those, and edge mark, up to the bandsaw, APF, and I'll switch the cameras. I think I've got one already there. Yep. All right, this guy off, and just wanting to go center. I won't do any measuring, I'm just going to do it by eye with the new glasses. And I need to do it this way because that's my face mark, remember? And my edge mark is going down. And tension the blade. Remember this thing, I love it. It lets me know straight away. Keeps me safe. Beautiful. All good there. Off. I've got to put that back on. About there. Push it in. A bit closer. Just a touch further in. That's it. Good. Bookmatched, I should say. All right. Let's see if it's much the same thickness. It is. I think this has got a pitch between the teeth. The distance is about 20 millimeters. So this is nearly a 20 by 20. 20 millimeters thick or deep, and 20. So it's basically a 1.2 TPI, 1.2 teeth per inch, something like that. And the last one, yep, much the same. Done. All right, so those off, and then we can have a look at this. So I have that, that, and that. I'll joint these up nicely. See, this one's a little bit wonky, but they're not bad. So I'll put some dominoes only to align it. I'm not doing that today. I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the size domino I use will be probably a 5mm. I don't think I need to go any more than that. The glue is going to hold everything together. I will have my width, which is, remember I wanted 300, that is 350. So that will give me enough to play with. And the length is 600. I wanted 580. So that will work well. I'm going to glue these up after the show. Come back into this one. So I'll glue these up after the show. So what I'm going to do next is I'll run this through the thickness planer. This here I have to get rid of because I really don't want that in the middle of the raised panel. So I have to think about this a little bit. It's a little annoying. What I could do, here's a thought. This might work. Rather than use those, I do have these offcuts, like the ones that have got the Nikon engraved into it. What I might be able to do, see that one, that's got the engraving both sides. Leave that to the side. But what I can do is I can rip this down the middle and that one down the middle. And the center part of the panel, I could do a join. Remember, this is all going to be painted. I could domino end to end and then dominoes in the side. So I could make a third, so that one and that one somehow. Oh no, by the time I cut it in half, of course, by the time I cut that in half on the bandsaw, end for end, put it in the middle. This one is more than half the length. I can do the same with that. Cut it down the middle and end for end. Now, will it be wide enough if I have that Nikon piece out? Is that the Nikon? Yeah, let's take that out. This is thinking on the run. This is live. I've just encountered a little bit of a problem. And you know what? 325 wide. Be 320 by the time I finish dressing all the edges. Easy. Why not? Otherwise, I may have run into trouble with these two guys. So that's not the end of the world for these things. I can still use the other parts here. Remember, I used that thin stuff for the bottom of drawers. I might make drawer bottoms out of this. I might rip this down again or put it through the thickness planer, take it down so I'm just past the depth of the work from the CNC. And I think that'll work. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. I think that's it for the week. Thank you everyone for hanging out and watching. And I can say goodbye to me. See you, Dave. I might even do a little type here, be a bit cheeky on the Premiere. That's it. Next week, I might do a bit more on this door. Well, we could do. I guess we could. We might just do the routing on the raised panels, and I'll show you the cutter that I'm going to use to make them in, and let the sides in, and then maybe even put one of the screens in. I probably should paint it all before I do that. Yeah, there's probably another show in this. I'm going to show you what I'm going to paint it with to stop the tannin bleeding through the white paint, because that's what happens with cedar. It's notorious for doing that. Now, you can't just use an ordinary sealer. There is a special one that I've got, and it works brilliantly first time, every time. I can share that with you next week. All right, so that's the show. Look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I shall see you all next week. See you later. Where's that? Hold on, I've got to put the close the show video. See you later.